All right, Linda, a scenario. I'm an advisor. I'm going through my gap analysis after having done a complete discovery process, complete interview. And I began to identify my solution set or my recommendation set. And I've now become aware that my recommendations may, in some way, trigger one of the behavioral biases in the client that we've been talking about at this point in time. What are some ways that I can minimize or mitigate that type of triggering impact or that type of cognitive bias on your part? How do I do that?
I love this question, Phil. If you think about the things that we've been actually looking at throughout your study program, things like concern and consequence questions. If I know that my client is probably going to have a hiccup over something that I'm presenting, and by the way, never ever discount the overwhelming power of inertia. Even when an alternative is better in every way, there's a compelling feeling that most people have to sort of keep things as they are. So all of us, and when we're designing presentations for clients, have to think about what do we do to help them overcome inertia as well as any of the other biases. The most powerful thing we can do is craft our presentation so that a lot of the information actually comes from the client. Now, I know that that's sort of counterintuitive, but think about consequence questions. For example, I know, Phil, that you have two daughters, Anna and Allie. What if you had created a will before Allie was born? And I was, as your advisor, suggesting that you actually get the will updated. Oh, it's so easy not to do this. If instead of telling you the 17 reasons why this would be a good idea, blah, 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 creating kind of an adversarial feeling between you and me, what if I get you to tell it to me? Phil, if heaven forbid something should happen to you and Allie is left assets and Anna is not, what would be the impact on that relationship for them?
Wow.
And now that's powerful emotional stuff and can actually trigger a client to action. We don't want to leave them in a negative place. Using positive consequence questions as part of the presentation, getting them to tell you why a solution is better, why you might have devised it for them, rather than taking that upon ourselves, is a very powerful technique to create comfort and confidence with a client.
So just thinking about that, if you tell me what I need to do, well, that's your opinion. But when you get me to tell you what I need to do, that's an absolute fact.
It absolutely is. Now, the one thing we have to be very careful here is that these are skills that can be used in a highly manipulative way, and that is not what we are after at all. You know, it's very important that my intent be your well-being, because you pick it up if I'm in it for me. But if I can lead you to verbalize the conclusions for yourself from a viewpoint of your best interest, then it's a very powerful way to get a client to take action.